Over the last 12 months, I've made over $1 million with my SMMA, doing nothing really more than having Nerf battles in my apartment with my friends and partners.
My fucking penthouse that I pay $12K a month for,
because I'm a
and
huge
still
dad.
getting my fucking dick out, looking at all the brokies.
I didn't really do this the same way that you might expect to find online with all the gurus talking about all these complex systems and loads of bullshit that's required to get to $100,000 a month run rate. I did it by having Nerf fights, I did it by having fun, and I did it by not really having to put any work in on my own. So today we're going to talk about exactly what it took to get here. Keep in mind, I didn't do this on my own. I'm 22 years old. I have partners, so it's not all me. But some of the things that we've done to help scale businesses to do over $30 million in top line revenue over the last 24 months. But today we're going to keep it simple. Talk about an agency that I scaled to about $100,000 a month run rate using these systems. So you can just come in, copy them, and learn from the mistakes that I made without actually having to make them yourself. So today we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about one, what we did, two, how it changed my life, and some of the things that I do today now that I didn't do in years prior. And last but not least, the steps that I took to get here, which are way more simple than you might think, so that you can do exactly what we did yourself over the next 6 to 12 months. A little bit of background on myself. I started in this space when I was 14, 15 years old, making videos for content creators, restaurants, car dealerships, and was doing around 5 to 10K a month at 14, 15 years old as a high school student. Pretty great opportunity. I was able to buy my first car, flex on my friends, but at the end of the day, I was having a really hard time removing myself from the business so I can actually focus on scaling it and not delivering service for my clients. It's the biggest reason why I was stuck at 10K a month for quite literally 5 to 6 years. I wasn't able to cross that 10K a month barrier until I turned 19 and really focused on removing myself from the businesses. Since then, we've helped scale agencies and scaled our own agencies from 0 to 100K a month in under 90 days with no more than just 3 clients. Now, how is that possible, you might ask? To bill a client $33,000 a month or more, we have billables pushing the $80,000 to $85,000 a month range. And the answer is you have to believe in yourself, you have to do it simply, and you have to put your contracts on performance. If you don't believe me, the proof is in the pudding. We don't process gigantic payments on Stripe if we don't have to. I'm not going to be paying Stripe $30,000 a month in processing fees just so that I can flex on a bunch of people on YouTube and prove keyboard warriors that I actually do what I do. And the numbers are great, but what do these numbers actually do for you as an individual? And how does it change the way that you look at the world, interact with the world, and lead your life? This isn't going to be some bullshit answer where I tell you that it's awesome because you get to drive supercars and live in a penthouse and have great expensive dinners and travel the world and meet all these great people. Yes, that's a benefit. And yes, I've done a lot of those things. But the real answer is the raw and honest truth. The number one thing that changes is that I've been able to provide for my family in ways that I've always wanted to. Now, I grew up in a family that was definitely not lower middle class or lower class. They're definitely not upper middle class echelon, but we were always tight for money and I could feel it as a kid. So the number one thing that I always wanted to do and strove for as I got older was finding a way to provide for my family. And this is a common goal that a lot of entrepreneurs have, so I fully understand where you guys are coming from. But wanting people to provide for my family so my parents don't have to worry about anything for the rest of their life. The number one thing that's changed is that I've been able to provide that to my family, and it's been the biggest contributor to me continuing to push for growth in the companies that we run. Being able to wake up every day and know that you're doing exactly what you've always wanted to do, and you can take it to another level by working harder, increasing and doubling down on the inputs that are working, and also having fun while you're doing it is probably the most fulfilling thing you can do. So instead of chasing money, chase fulfillment. For me, fulfillment is being able to provide for my family. And this is definitely something that's changed for the better since being able to learn how to scale businesses, whether it's an agency or a home company or a consulting program, with minimal inputs of your time with maximal outputs for the money you earn. Number two, I've probably lived more in the last 2 years of my life than most people will live in an entire lifetime. Literally everything from going to Dubai and running around on camels' backs and driving dune buggies through the desert, which is something I've always wanted to do, to surfing in Costa Rica with ATVs that you drive up and down the strip every morning, the surfboard on the front of your ATV, working out of coffee shops, closing deals, coming back, sleeping, and having great parties in some of the coolest villas that you can ever find, all the way through to here in Vancouver, being able to live in a great sub-penthouse with an amazing view, drive great cars, and being surrounded by some of the best friends and people that I ever could have asked for on a day-to-day basis that push you to get better. Now, that's a benefit, but again, not the best part about all of this. Number three, the opportunity that being able to scale businesses with minimal input has provided in order to build a network and a group and a family of killers around you. I'm an only child. My friends, my partners are my family. I don't have brothers and sisters. So the ability to use that cash and leverage to do the same thing for them and develop amazing relationships with those individuals is probably one of the biggest benefits to being able to scale businesses. And today I'm surrounded by a network of absolute killers. I wouldn't replace them for the world. And as a result, I'm extremely fulfilled. Number 4, it's detached me from the value of money. And I think this is actually one of the most important things for people to grasp in the sense of what's required to scale your business to that next level. When I was a kid, growing up in the environment that I did, it used to irk me to spend $25 on lunch. I do that, I come home and I'm like, oh my God, why did I just do that? And that's crazy to me because at the time I was making more than enough money to feel totally okay with spending 25 bucks on dinner, but I didn't. As I've gotten into a position where we run businesses that are cash flowing month over month, it's really changed that mindset from, hey, I don't know if I can spend $20 on dinner to being completely okay with spending $250 on dinner because of the opportunity and the character that those experiences provide and build. So one of the biggest things I've learned is the less you care about money, the less you are attached to it, the more willing you are to say goodbye to it, the faster you're going to be able to get to that next level. And time again, I've had to be comfortable spending everything I've had, be comfortable losing everything and starting again from scratch in order to get to that next level. And usually that's what's required. So you can't really do that if you're attached to money. If you're so worried about adding an extra $1,000 to your savings balance month over month, you're not really thinking about the best way to add $1 million to your bank balance in 3 months from now. And number 5, and definitely most importantly, all of these things have compounded into the growth of my character and the growth of my charisma. And there's one thing that I could say for you to focus on that's probably holding you back. It's the fact that you just don't have charisma. There's also a certain level of charisma that comes from the confidence of knowing that no matter what happens to you, you have the knowledge in order to scale a business back to that range, even if everything goes to shit and you have to start again from scratch. And that charisma is exactly what people buy. End of the day, businesses sell products and services, but people buy people, right? When I'm a customer walking in through the door of a business, I'm buying the sales rep, I'm buying the people that are delivering my quality product and service, and also I'm buying the people that associate themselves with that business. You don't buy a Ferrari because you want the product. Maybe you do, but really what you're buying is access to that network of Ferrari owners. You don't drive the car 4,000 miles a month. What you do is you put 4,000 miles in the car over the next 10 years and you only drive it on track days so you can spend time with other people who own Ferraris. You're buying into that community and you buy into the sales rep that sells it to you because he's selling you on that vision, and you buy into the company and its history. You're buying in to people. And at the end of the day, no matter what happens in business, you're always buying people. Agencies deliver services, they deliver amazing services, and the people who buy those services are buying because they believe that the people who are selling them and the people inside the business are actually going to be able to deliver results. Investors and VCs buy businesses and invest in businesses because they believe in the founders, and really nothing else. It's the best strategy that they've been able to identify, qualitative over quantitative. So charisma will usually get you to that point. And the easiest way to build charisma is to build a cash cow business so that you have the confidence of that guy who's making 10, 20, 50, 100K a month and are able to detach from the value of money to the point where you can invest in experiences that contribute to your character. Now, enough of this hullabaloo bullshit. This is what I got out of this experience. This is why I value being able to scale businesses with minimal time input and maximum leverage. But let's actually talk about how we got here in the first place. It really comes down to 4 main steps. Number 1 is to just start and bet on yourself. Number 2 is to keep it stupidly simple because simple sells stupid. Number 3 is to scale. Number 4 is to acquire the best possible time. It is the same 4 steps that I've used to scale every business that I've ever owned and run, and also iterated for the last 24 months as we've worked to generate over $30 million in top-line revenue across the businesses that I run with my partners. So number 1, just start and bet on yourself. I am an overthinker, and I know if you're watching this video, you probably are as well. And as a result, all you can think about is, how am I going to get great results for my clients? What kind of clients am I going to sell? What kind of marketing materials am I going to use? What kind of channel am I going to use to scale it? How am I going to design my funnel? All the questions in the world running through your head. And all day you're going to sit at your computer on Apple Notes and you're going to be typing out answers to those questions, and it'll just create more and more and more and more questions. The best place to start is nowhere at all, with a simple message asking people how you can provide value to their life or their business. I started with this when I was 14 years old, and I sent messages out to everybody in my network, everybody in my mom's network, and everybody in my dad's network. I knew that I could make videos and I had a passion for it. So I reached out and said, how can I add value to your business by shooting you a couple photos and a couple videos for free? Within 4 months, I was generating 4 to 10K a month in revenue for myself as a solopreneur freelancer, making videos and photos for clients. The same thing happened when we started our most recent agency. What we wanted to do is take more of a growth partner model so that we didn't have to rely on super tight margin businesses, scaling social platforms with really little or minimal value illustrated in the return for our services. So to do that, we wanted to be able to have very few clients, but be able to generate as much revenue as possible. That was our objective. So the first thing we did is we just said, how can we generate $1 million for the clients that we work with and then take part of that $1 million and bring it home? The answer for that was, let's work on large performance contracts. So we started reaching out to people in our network. We started saying, hey, if you pay us $5K, we'll set up whatever you need in order to generate the next $1 million for your business. And I want to take 20% of any attributed revenue that comes through that channel. Within the first 30 days, we had a few yeses and we started and collected a few $5K deposits. We set up the things that they needed based on audits of their business. And within the first 90 days, we'd taken one of the businesses from $20K a month to over $640,000 a month in new sales value generated. So you can only imagine on a 20% performance contract what that resulted in. So the moral of the story is take the leap of faith, go for it, believe in yourself, and just stop overthinking. One of the concepts and mental models that I hold really close to heart has become more and more apparent as I've spent more time doing what I do, is that crossroads in your life are created entirely by yourself. You manifest the crossroads in your life by making subconscious, intuitive decisions on a day-to-day basis that leads you to these crossroads. A great example. Why is it that when I was in high school, I was graduating in the top 3 percentile of the world of the IB program with a projected 42, got a full ride scholarship to one of the best business schools in Canada, and then get into that best business school. And in the first 2 semesters, no matter how hard I tried, was unable to get anything over a 70 on any exam or midterm that I took. And the answer is not because I'm an absolute idiot, because I did amazing in high school. And the answer is that every day I was making intuitive, subconscious decisions that was pulling my attention and focus away from my schoolwork and putting my decision and leadership capital and mental energy toward the idea that I was building in my head of being able to become an entrepreneur, self-sufficient, and the passion of scaling businesses and building teams and families around those businesses. So I could sit there every day and study for 12 hours. But as I was studying, I wasn't actually thinking about the work that I was doing. Instead, I was thinking about the opportunity and the possibility of everything that I wanted just being one small decision around the corner. And that was in the back of my head. I didn't realize it. But over time, those decisions and intuitive actions started to compound to the point where I walked into my exam hall for my econ macro class in term 2 and absolutely failed my midterm. I had studied harder for that exam than any other exam in my life. And I got a 45. And that told me everything I needed to know about where I needed to go. And that was the crossroads, right? Walking into that exam hall, picking up my results, seeing a 45, realizing that I was going to be put on academic probation and lose my full ride scholarship was the crossroads. I didn't want to take that leap of faith. I didn't want to drop out of university and go and focus on my business, but I set myself up through my subconscious actions and intuitive decisions to force myself to do that. Because there was no way in hell that I was going to be going to university and taking $50,000 a year in student loan debt on just so that I could continue to fail and be put on academic probation at one of the best business schools in Canada. Because I also knew that at 14 years old, I was making more money every year than most people who graduated from that university will make in the first 4 years of their time in field in their career. So whenever you're in a position where you need to take that leap of faith, you need to believe in yourself, and you feel like you're at a crossroads, it'll feel like it's in your stomach. Like you're anxious, you need to run, you need to make something happen. And if you don't, the whole world is going to crumble. When you're at those crossroads, always take the scarier of the 2 paths. That's the intuitive decision. It's the harder one. But I can tell you from experience that every time I've been at one of these crossroads, I've never regretted taking the scarier path. And it's always brought back completely outsized returns compared to what would have happened if I stayed on the one that made me feel comfortable. That is the longest winded way for me to say, believe in yourself and take the leaps of faith when they appear, because you've created those crossroads and you need to take the leap of faith because you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. Step 2 is keep it simple. If you've been in the internet money space and you're watching this video, you've probably also watched Sam Oven's content. If you haven't, you need to go and watch it because he is a preacher of keeping things simple, cutting the fat, and making sure that you're focusing on the highest leverage task possible. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to think about ways to reinvent the wheel and create the new next generation agency or have service delivery that approaches funnels in a way that nobody else has. All you need to do is deliver good results. And for most people, good results looks like a 10% increase from what they're currently doing. Imagine if instead of all the crazy guarantees you see online, it was just, I'm going to add 10% to your top line over the next 90 days. And as a result of that, you're going to pay me $5K. Think about this. If you're a business doing $100,000 a month, and you had somebody cold call you and say, hey, give me a chance, pay me $5K, and I guarantee that I'll work for free until I do this. But over the next 90 days, I'm going to add 10% to your top line. If that person is able to add 10% to that business's top line, that's $10,000 a month and $120,000 a year. And all they have to do is pay you $5,000 to do that. You don't have to go and have these crazy guarantees saying I'm going to book you 90 qualified sales calls and then I'm going to close 15 of them and make you $100,000 in the next 10 days, or I'm going to pay you back 4 times what you paid me. It's where the space is gone, but you don't need to have that in order to get great returns for yourself as an individual, as well as great results for your clients. So keep it simple. Focus on the things your clients actually want. Make sure that you can align with them on those things and then find a way to get that to them. And the next step up from that, if you want to keep it simple but also make a lot of money, is say, hey, You run a $100,000 a month run rate business. Over the next 90 days, I'm going to add 10% to your top line. And when I do, I want you to pay me $2,500 a month. And I'm going to take 5% or 10% or 20% of the attributed added revenue that I'm bringing into your business. I don't want equity. I just want to make sure that I can feel like the added value I'm giving to your business, you're also adding to mine. That is as simple as it gets. And it's the exact model that I use to take our SMMA over the last 12 months from quite literally zero to $100,000 a month run rate with 3 clients. So if there's one step or 2 steps for you to focus on, it's these first 2. Just believe in yourself, take the leap of faith, and keep it stupidly simple, because simple sells stupid. Number 3 is scale. The number one reason why people don't ever get past 10, 20, 30K a month and they're just stuck there forever, and trust me, I know because I've been there. I was stuck at 10K a month for 4 to 5 years, is because they don't have a proven lead acquisition channel. Spend all their time going omni-channel. I'll post on Instagram, I'll send cold outreach, I'll wait for referrals, I'll go and walk down the main street and door knock and try and sell local business owners face to face. It's great, but it's inconsistent. You have no idea where money's coming from the next month. And you're stuck in this scarce mindset because you know that if you churn a client, it's going to have a huge impact on your business, and you don't know where the next client is going to come to replace that loss. So once you've been able to generate a bit of money for yourself, and you know how to deliver quality results for your clients, you can feel confident that when somebody pays you, you're going to get results for them. Start investing and rolling some of that money back into developing a proven lead channel. Now, expect this to take 3 to 6 months minimum, whether that's cold outbound email, outbound DMs, cold calling, ads, whatever the channel is, expect it to take 3 to 6 months to ramp up, and do not get discouraged. What a lot of first-time, second-time business owners will start doing is they'll start investing in a new channel. They'll spend 30 days doing it, realize that they're not getting the results that they wanted, feel like they're spending more money than they can afford, and then just stop and then move on to the next one. And the cycle repeats itself until the business ends up killing itself, or the founder ends up saying, I hate this so much that I don't want to do this anymore, and they shut the business down. The best thing you can do for your business is to choose one channel and make sure it aligns with your customer demographic, right? If you're selling B2C and you need cold leads, run some ads if you have money, or do DM outreach on Instagram. If you're running B2B, send some cold emails, run some cold calls, and maybe run some Google ads or LinkedIn ads, right? Very simple. And do not stop on the channel that you've chosen until you know that you can get a proven 3 to 5 meetings a day booked and showed on your calendar, and you're closing consistently on those clients because they're qualified leads, and you know how to deliver on their pain points through your sales calls. You can scale a business from 0 to $1 to $3 million a year run rate, so top line, with just one channel. I've seen businesses go further than that. I've personally taken businesses from 0 to $7 million a year run rate with just one channel. You probably can take them even further if you wanted to, but you do not need an omni-channel approach to take a business from 0 to a top 1% business in North America. In fact, probably the number one reason why most businesses never reach that top 1% range, which is $1 million run rate, is because they focus on omni-channel and never spend enough time investing in developing a single channel as a proven lead source. Now, once you've developed that channel for yourself, you're booking 3 to 5 meetings a day, you're consistently closing at a 5 to 50% rate, your business is growing month over month, it's time to invest in automating that channel. This is the time when you start looking at bringing in sales talent so that people can start closing for you, and you can leverage time with money. You can start bringing more leads in and doubling down on that channel so that you can continue compounding the growth of your business. Step 3 is once you've been able to automate that process so that it continues to scale toward the ceiling of that channel, you start focusing on developing a second channel. So that could be ads or outbound, everything we just covered. That's the time to start focusing on that channel. Once channel 1 is automated, it's proven, you have predictable revenue and predictable lead flow from that channel, then you can start focusing on other ones. Typically by this point, your business is doing multiple 7 figures in top line run rate a year, and you're feeling quite comfortable. So this will be a great challenge for you to invest in. Spend the next 3 to 6 months focusing on that next level for your business. The last of the 4 steps for taking businesses from 0 to $1 million a year run rate is acquiring the best talent possible. Once you start developing demand and you're taking personally 3 to 5 sales calls a day, the odds of you being able to be in the trenches actually delivering for clients and spending your time worrying about all their complaints and concerns are very low. And if you are focusing on it, you're probably going to be closing at a shit rate, and you're going to feel like your life is ending and everything is dependent on you and the world is crumbling all around you. I've been there before, trust me. Remember that people buy people, and that nobody's going to buy your service if you don't actually believe that your service is going to deliver. So in order to do that, you need to bring operators into play. Get some strategists on board, get people in place that can build systems around themselves so you can spend more time scaling your business on the front end and not have to worry about fulfillment. Now, a big rule of thumb here is when you start hiring for your company for the very first time, hire generalists. Generalists will build systems. They'll be more like intrapreneurs than entrepreneurs, but they'll also be more like entrepreneurs than employees. These generalists will help you build systems. They'll own the build out of your fulfillment systems and really help you focus your time on scaling your business on the front end. Once you've done that and you're starting to reach that escape velocity, then start hiring specialists. Google Ads specialists, Facebook Ads specialists, organic creative strategists, paid media creative strategists. Get into the very nitty-gritty details of the best ways to increase returns for your clients by hiring specialists in those fields that are going to be able to deliver better results than a generalist, but also won't be able to build systems and scale teams as fast or effectively as a generalist. So hire generalists at the start and specialists later once you're ready to start scaling. Now, where to find the best talent? Well, at this point, you're probably making enough money to the point where you can go and travel, you can go and spend some time on masterminds, you can go and spend some time meeting new people in new countries. Go and do that. The best place to find talent is not on Upwork, it's not on LinkedIn, it's not on hiring platforms. It's in person. Go and find people that are working for other people that are doing better than you, sell them on the vision, get them bought in, bring them into your family, and keep them there. Do not churn your talent, keep them in-house as long as possible, and make sure that you can set up a growth plan and trajectory for them to succeed with you. So just to recap, 4 main steps. Number 1, just start and believe in yourself. Number 2, keep it simple. And if you want better advice on this than any other place on the planet, go and watch Sam Levin's content. He's an absolute genius when it comes to stripping out the fat of businesses and keeping it simple. Number 3 is scale. One channel first, then automate that channel, and then develop a new channel once you're ready and you want to have a bit more fun. And last but not least, acquire the right people. People buy people, they don't buy products and services. So make sure you have the best people on board for your team and the clients that you service. Now, it all seems simple in practice because it actually is. It's way more simple than you might think, and it's way more simple than a lot of these guys online, gurus, etc., course providers are going to tell you that it is or let it on to be, because the complexity that they have is the way that they sell their services. We do everything simple. I will literally post everything that I know on this YouTube channel for you to figure out for yourself. If you want help with it, I'm also here to do that. We have an entire suite of services, whether that's us working with you one-on-one so you can consult with our team of 7-figure business operators, whether that's in the agency space, or people like myself and my partners who have scaled businesses to 8 figures plus, or if you want us to take care of everything for you, we can also do that for you. Everything we talked about in this video from start to finish, whether that's just launching and believing in yourself, all the way through to scaling revenue channels, all the way through to helping place the right talent, are things that we take care of in-house with our Done For You service suite. So if you watch all these videos and you like the value and you feel like you need a little bit of extra help or a push to get you over the edge and take you to that next level, you know who to call. There's actually a link down below. You can check it all out yourself. If not, continue watching these videos and hopefully we're able to help you take your business to a 7-figure a year run rate much faster than you would if you had it.